Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. A brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. Yeah! It's King Groot. I don't know why I said yeah in such a... yeah, it's King Groot. Yeah, because he's like king. Wow, I'm overly excited about this. And I should be, and I am. Like, King Groot is it's pretty cool with regards to the fact that he gets regeneration, poison. I love a bit of regen, love a bit of poison, love the fact he gets fury and armor break as well. Sounds like a crappy song, but I quite like this champion. So what I'm going to do is start off by following the attributes and kind of see how the character changed from the point of fact that we're getting. We've got him 330 now. We're going to get him Awakened. We're going to get some signature stones on him, and then we're going to see how he progresses. Man, it does sound like I'm singing a song all the time. So let's start off with the percentages that we got here. This is the stuff I like. I like the stats, okay? So we've got here that the critical rating is 13.4%. We got 146 for the critical damage rating. We've got 12.4% with regards to armor. And then we've got 54.7 with regards to block proficiency. Not overly amazing stats by any kind of standards compared with other champions. But Cosmic aren't exactly the most amazing when it comes to stats. They do get better. Don't get me wrong, they do get better. And there's certain champions that have kind of over-exaggerated stuff. You know, we've got Spider-Man Symbiote. You know, he's got some pretty insane crit damage rating. But I want to see how this kind of character progresses, because we expect a lot of kind of armor attached to this character. I want to say 12.4%. And actually, it's actually quite good for a Cosmic character. You compare it with like other tech, because tech really kind of gets armor and kind of better block proficiency than most other classes. So let's go do it and get him upgraded. And then have a look at the change when we get him up to 440. Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to awaken him, put some signatures on him, have a look at the change, and then 440 him. So let's have a quick look as well before we do any kind of movements on his signature with regards to awakening him. Now, obviously, this is the point where we get him into some serious regeneration. We get him in some mild regeneration when we awaken him. So let's do that now. Let's run a signature, an awakening even. So awakening on there. I've chosen King Groot because I like his start. I like the fact I've got Fury. Kind of goes quite well with some of my masteries. I think I've got a mastery on for greater strength, which obviously positively influences the Fury. So unyielding might is there. So whenever King Groot falls into cooldown, he immediately begins to focus on rapidly repairing his cellular damage, granting him regeneration buff and recovering 7.6 health over duration of the cooldown. So that is good to see a bit of regeneration onto this character. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. So you expect something something quite stocky as he goes. Doesn't look like there's any change there, but obviously we're not going to see main attribute changes until we start that rank up procedure. So let's whack onto here. Let's just see if we can get that 397 changing by adding more signature stones. So we're going to add 28, I think, to this, and make him a bit more stronger than he is. So the 28 goes on. Engaging. Engaged. There we go. So there we go. Increased. Now we've got that up to 1,125.93. That's a lot better, and for me that is much more nicer to kind of play with, because there's a little bit more regeneration, and depending obviously on the cooldown, you could get this coming up quite a bit. So I'm not going to say that he is an end game type character to go for, but you could see some real usage in stuff like Realm of Legends. It definitely wouldn't be anything that you could use in Labyrinth, I'm telling you that. But I can see him as a good quester as well. Having stuff like regeneration is quite handy, but Realm of Legends, I think, more promising to use on that one, and we'll give that a go in a moment. So we're nearly ready with the rank up, and before we do that, I just want to note down some information just so I know what's going on. So we're looking at the attack for the Fury buffs on the passive, seeing if that obviously increases for the 12 seconds. Also with the SP1 259, we've got SP2 950 and the SP3 1136. So it's just really remembering some of these numbers to see if really gets any improvements. Likewise with the signature ability, we're hoping for an increase on that 1125, and then as well we're then looking for the change of stats. Obviously we've got there 13.4%, we've got 146, 12.4 and 54.7. So we're looking for some real changes there to make it look a little bit more better. So without further ado, let's get our rank on. So there we have it. We've got him up to 440. Not particularly impressive when it comes to the rating that the character gets. It drops even below Thor, and Thor's got similar I think signature to 16, man, compared with King Groot. Not particularly brilliant at the moment. I don't have any plans to get him up to rank 5. It does mean at the moment I would like to get him up there at a later date, but the issue is that I'm trying to get Captain Marvel up, and I just need, I think, a slither more of the last 4 tier 4 class catalyst for Cosmic, and then boom, there we go. That's my first rank 4 5-star. With another one that I can do pretty much just quickly like that. But anyway, there are some like really decent changes. So let's go with the attribute changes and just have a look here. So critical rating up to 13.7, critical damage rating up 148.1. Not a huge amount of change with regards to stuff. Armor rating improved slightly to 13.7 and block proficiency to 55.4%. Again, not too bad. I think it's really the character is going to come into its own when it comes to its signature ability and other stuff associated with that. Looks like we've had an increase as well to the ability, signature ability, so it's up to 1479, which is good to see. A rise as well with regards to the Fury buffs at 180.96. We've seen increases across the board, so this is really good to see. And 1,248 for the direct damage due to poison effects off the SB2. That is something I'm going to look to see if I can really utilize. I do like the idea that the character is bleed immune, which is handy against the champion that we're going to first off face in Realm of Legends in shape or form of Winter Soldier. But I really want to see the extent of regen and how that kind of affects with regards to cooldown. Is this champion going to be effective within Realm of Legends or any other kind of questing format? That is the most exciting question to answer. So without further ado, and with 29 signature levels on this character, let's get him into a battle situation. And one thing I do, just pointing out, the Monsters Unleashed comic book, and I'm kind of like glad that Kabam are kind of seeing these kind of very out there comic book things and getting characters like King Groot in, and hopefully we get to see some more kind of these characters like Man-Thing and other kind of very kind of monstrous characters in the future. So before we get King Groot into a matchup against Winter Soldier, there's several things that I really want to see within the game, which I didn't mention so far. And that is off the SP1, I want to make sure that I have a Fury buff up so I can then consume it and then apply an armor break permanently, because without the, once it's in cooldown for the Fury, it does mean the armor break does cycle off. But once it is a case that you have Fury, you can then apply it. Now I will be going to try and put up to 9, because you can do 9 stacks on there. Obviously the length of fight, and obviously I'm not going to have a huge amount of damage output. So that is something that I am looking to do, is just add a huge amount of armor break to kind of improve my situation. The next thing I'm really excited to see is extended regeneration, because obviously I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I need to find out when and where it's applicable to then get that regen back, whether or not if it's on the passive and I just get it, I'm like, hey, that's cool. After on the cooldown, I get it, nice. But if I want to trigger it, I go on the L3, I then get some back. I may be able to kind of like pull myself from the jaws of defeat to then get success. So yeah, without further ado, and with a little bit of Guardians synergy team, get a bit of block proficiency, you know what I mean, let's get into a battle with Winter Soldier. That was a long ass fight. That was, I'm looking at the record time now, it's like that's around about 20 minutes. A 20-minute solid fight. My neck is killing me. But I thought, like, I've got to at least kind of go through with this. So, to give my final thoughts on that, yeah, okay, it was scrappy at times. But what I really liked was that I could, and it's not like a great fighter. I feeling that when I first thought of kind of like ranking up this champion, I was kind of envisioning that the champion would be really good for Realm of Legends. but the extent of kind of like base damage that the character puts out is pretty weak. I think that the armor break helps significantly, putting that up to 9 stacks. I do believe that the character should get more than that, but that's my own personal opinion. But when we're looking for poisons, not substantial. One thing I really hope is as I increase the signature level and the rank, that becomes more powerful. At 440, it's good, but it's not quite there. Also, I think that the regeneration is more than ample. That is fantastic, really, because it really gets you out of sticky situations. The signature ability regen was good. Also, the regen from the L3 was good as well. So it's kind of like you can get up to like 2,000 plus at 440 just by having like that, just in like quick bursts. And it's like you can top that up, which I like. It's not like other characters where it comes at chance, you have to work hard for it, like or do like an L3 with Mordo, or do like an L3 with dimensional link buff with Dormammu. There's less bullshit with that, and you know what you're getting, and you know at what times and how to get it. It's just that damage output, I think, that really lets down King Groot of being anything more than he could be. However, I believe that 550, if I was to get him up to that, and also signature level up to close to about 70 plus, will really give some an amazing kind of boost to this champion in his poisons in so many different ways. Poisons, regens, and his attack. So, casting my final judgment on King Groot, I think that he is a great champion. He's not an amazing champion, he's a great champion. I can see his use in different areas. I think that when we get 550, we'll see an improvement to that base damage. Hitting those 200s were pretty pathetic. And obviously with the Furies, we're hitting like 375 to 400. And that should be like a base damage or base attack. And then we should be seeing with the Furies hitting like 600, 700s a time. That would be good. And then seeing those Fury stacks really applying more damage. I think that I need to check my masteries and kind of make sure that I'm getting the best out of the Furies. However, though, I'm about to change over to something else in order to benefit maybe a Legends run or some other aspects of the game, or improve my arenas by doing on suicides. So this champion may be better for that. The poison side of things is good. It could be better. So currently with the SP2, we're seeing 1248. That's not amazing. So hopefully as he gets up the signatures and the ranks, that we see an improvement with that. Granted, with the signatures it probably only affects, and it does usually only affect the amount of health we'll get back. So he's going to be a really strong regener, especially if you do an L3 and have the passive there. Then on the cooldown you're going to see some amazing amount of regen. So it's going to be a bruiser, a bit of a brawler, which is quite handy for a lot of aspects in the game. It can be a really good learning champion, because then you're getting that regen back. Not substantial, but still it's going to be quite extensive, kind of on par with a lot of mutants that get regen, if you consider a huge amount of signature ability improvement, especially if you're going off the L3, getting that regen, getting that passive. Wow, lots of regen, lots of kind of buffer room, and also strong armor and block proficiency, which means you're not going to take a load of damage at the same time. Yeah, really good champion. Thoroughly enjoy him. I look forward to playing him in arenas, in event questing. Pretty tidy. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. What's your thoughts on King Groot? Could he be improved? Is he utilized well? What's your thoughts? So thanks again. Remember to follow for Marvel Contest of Champions news, and catch me on social media, links in the description below, and I shall see you again. Bye bye.